My bench increased 20 kgs when I started doing these things. Hey guys, I'm Hans, and in this video, I'm going to give you the 3 main tips that have helped me bench 140 kg. Alright, if you guys want to hit 3 plates, if you guys want to hit 2 plates, or even your first plate, I would suggest actually following this structured program. So there's going to be 3 main elements of this video, tip number 1, 2, and 3, and then I am going to drop my program at the end as a little bonus. I've edited and revised it for what I think would be the best. Also going to just break down every single step of why you need to do it, why you should do it, and how you're going to do it. So tip number 1, volume. Alright, let's talk volume. If you're benching like 1 time, 2 times a week, like that's cool, you know, if you want to stay weak, like all goods. But if you really want to improve your bench and you really want to shoot those numbers up, especially when you've already passed that 2 plate mark. So if you're benching 100 right now, or you're benching 110 and you really want to hit 140, there is almost no way you're going to get to 140 naturally if you're not getting in that volume, right? I would say bench like at least 3 times a week. That's what I did. You could push it to 4. I mean, with the bench, it really depends because the recovery time for bench is a lot less compared to something like deadlifts, for example. So if you bench on Monday, you should just need about 1 day of recovery before your chest isn't sore anymore, you know? All right, or your triceps. So I would go a Monday, Wednesday, Friday split, and that way you can be able to recover on the Tuesday and the Thursday. If you want to add something on a Sunday or add something on a Saturday, something light, sure, go ahead, but I did not do that. That doesn't mean you're gonna flat bench on Monday and then flat bench on Wednesday and then flat bench on Friday, right? You could do your prescribed set on a Monday, like 70 kg times 5 reps for 5 sets, for example. And then on a Wednesday, you could work your pin press or work some other accessory. You could do some static holds as well as some negatives. And then on a Friday, you could do more hypertrophy work and go incline chest press with dumbbells or even the Smith machine. As long as you're doing something related to the bench press, it should be beneficial to you. Although research has shown that training to failure has no detrimental effects to strength gains, I always opted to have 2 reps in reserve, or 2 RIR. I just pop it up on the screen here, but it's another way of measuring rate of perceived exertion, or RPE. And it's really good because knowing that I have 2 reps in reserve most of the time would allow me to make sure that I'm not completely destroying my chest. Because if you're gonna go in on a Monday and absolutely hammer your chest and go to failure every set and then go into incline dumbbell press and go to failure, there's no way you can be able to bench on a Wednesday. I will link the research study down in the description if any of the nerds like me want to read about it. All right, tip number 2, technique. Just because the big meathead in your gym is benching 140 for reps and he's balding and shit, like does not mean that you should doing that, man. Like bad technique is probably one of the main reasons why people are not benching 140. Just anything that isn't optimal is gonna be detrimental to your strength gains, right? So there are gonna be 4 main problems that I see in people that bench. And I'm no like professional powerlifter, so I can tell you right now, like there are definitely flaws within my technique, but as long as you are striving for perfect technique, you should be good. There's like heaps of videos online, like watch Jeff Nippert, for example. He explains all the specific technique and little issues you have with your bench, which will make you just squeeze out those extra pounds or kgs, right? So first thing is widen your grip. Like you don't want to be benching out here. So bench all the way up to the first, I like to put my pointer fingers on the last ring of the bench, right? Because the bar has 2 rings. So you're gonna put it on the last ring. Obviously, if you are starting from a close grip bench, you're gonna wanna ease that out and slowly widen your grip to whatever's comfortable, because it does feel a bit awkward on the shoulders. The second thing would be paused reps, like going to the gym and doing like 10 bounce reps as fast as you can with your ass flying up off the bench, like is not gonna help you improve, man. Like just because you cranked out 10 reps, like 9 of them were momentum, 6 of them were like elastic potential of your muscle, you know? So you really want to control that eccentric, pause it on your chest, and then press it up without your ass lifting, especially when you're actually training for it, right? And number 3 would be arching your back. So like, you gotta practice that arch, man. Like, you know, because I feel like a lot of people think that arching is like gay and shit, but at the end of the day, it's what's gonna protect you. It's gonna keep that back tight. It's gonna help you bench more. So if you wanna hit 140, if you wanna hit 3 plates, you're going to need to arch your back. Finally, keeping your scapula retracted and depressed. There's this one example I like to show a lot of people when I explain this, and it's reducing the range of motion by standing against a wall, right? And you can keep your hands straight, you're gonna retract and depress your scapula. And you see the huge difference and the huge amount of wasted range of motion that you're using in your bench press when you don't have your scapula retracted, on top of the fact that you're completely putting your rotator cuffs at risk. So you really want to keep that back tight. And oftentimes I'll even get a pump on my back before I actually go for a PR, just to keep my back real tight. And the final tip I have for you guys is train with someone. Okay, so I know it sounds a bit intuitive, or it sounds a bit stupid, because you're like, oh Hans, how is training with someone gonna actually help me bench? But I'm telling you guys, training with someone, it gives you so much more motivation, because you guys are either pushing each other and racing each other to a goal, or if one of you's stronger and the other one's a bit newer to the gym, you guys could both have benchmarks that you're both pushing for. And like, you're always rooting for your bro, you know? Like, these are my boys Noah and Otis, right? And I love them to death, and I would not be here at this 140 kg benchmark if it wasn't for them. It holds you accountable. You can't just skip out on a workout because you know the other guy is training and going for his goals. So train with someone, and you're always going to have a spotter if you have someone there with you, because like it or not, you're gonna need a spot at some point while you're benching. You're not some superhuman who just does any weight they can do, right? If you're having a shit day, if you're running on 1 hour of sleep and you go and bench, you're gonna need a spot. And it just keeps things fun. Like, the gym's not all about all this like, oh, it's winter arc, like demon time, all that bullshit. Like you sound cringe, okay? So actually just go have fun. And obviously I know it's a bit hard to have fun when you start out, but at the same time, if you don't find what you like in the gym, you are never gonna actually make it. I guess it's kind of true. I mean, if you like getting in there and grinding every single day and benching and training yourself, you are going to get that 140 bench. You're not gonna do that if all you care about is 140 and you're just training for the sake of getting 140. You know, you're gonna have to enjoy the process. You're gonna have to find it fun. And what better way than to have someone else to do it with you? So as promised, there is a program. Okay, the program is gonna run for 3 months. And how it works is we're gonna have it split into 3 days a week for 3 months. So for day 1, you are going to start with your rotator cuff warm-ups. You will be doing rotator cuff warm-ups every bench day of the week, right? For month number 1, you are gonna have a 70% of your max. So you need to know your max bench press, right? For example, if your bench press is 100 kg, you can do 70 kg for a 3-1-1 tempo, meaning you're gonna go 3 seconds down on the negative, you're gonna pause in your chest for 1 second, you're gonna go all the way up for 1 second, right? It's gonna be 5 by 5. So 5 reps for 5 sets. Now on day 2 of month 1, you're gonna do pin press. You're gonna do 90% of your max. If your max is 100, you're gonna do 90 kg. And you're doing this for 2 sets of 3 reps. Now negatives, we are going to do this on day 3. We're gonna do 110% of your max bench for negatives. So once again, if your bench is 100, you're gonna do 110 kg for a negative. Be sure you have a spotter here, because you're not gonna be able to press this weight up. So you can have someone help you pull the weight back up, and you can do this for 2 sets for 2 reps. 60 kg for 5 reps, 2 sets. These are going to be long pauses and controlled. You're going to work on keeping your back tight the whole way through the rep, and you're going to be using leg drive. And finally, a 90% max. You're going to do 2 reps of these, touch and go, just 1 set. Okay, and that is going to repeat every week. So week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4. Now, on week 5, or month, to start off month number 2, you are going to start off with a day 1. Once again, for day 1, it's going to be rotator cuff work. You're going to go for an 80% this time, so you've moved from 70 to 80%. Same tempo, and you're going to do 3 sets of 5 reps. On day 2 of month 2, you're going to do a pin press, 90% once again, but this time you are going to be doing 4 reps. Make sure you focus on that arch, keeping your back tight the whole way through, as well as using leg drive. And finally, on day 3 of month 2, you're going to do 120% holds. Once again, if you're benching 100 kg, you're going to hold 120 kg, right? We're going to do this 2 times for 30 seconds, and make sure you have a spotter there. Make sure that weight does not fall on your chest, okay? Consider wrist wraps. Holding weights that you have not held or gone close to can feel a bit uncomfortable on your wrists, so if you do need wrist reps, please use those. Finally, we're going to go for 50%, as many reps as possible, AMRAP, for 4 sets, and these are going to be all pauses as well, and a 90% max for 2 reps touch and go. Same thing as last month. On month 3, we are going to start with 90% of your max. So if you guys see the trend here, we're going up by 10% every time. It is going to be a 3-1-1 tempo, but this time we're doing 3 reps for 3 sets. Once again, decreasing volume, increasing intensity. On day 2, we're going to have pin press. This time we're going to be pin pressing our max. So if you bench 100 kg, you're going to press 100 kg for 3 sets of 2. Same thing, leg drive and arch focus. And finally, on day 3, you're going to do 80% of your max for 2 sets of 10 touch and go. All right, and this should be easy by now. All right, guys, well, that was the video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope if you want the program, just drop a comment down below and I will email it to you guys. Just drop your email in the comment section. All the stuff I've used, everything, tips. If you want to go back, there's timestamps in the video. And once again, I appreciate every single one of you. If any questions, please do just shoot me a message on my socials. I'll pop my Instagram up here. Yeah, I love you all.